Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Drunks. Actually, this is the kickoff edition for 2022 with my co-host Ty. How you doing today?
What's up? What's good, Coach Ray? I'm good, man. Feeling good. Had a great start to a day, and just continuing that vibe. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, actually, we got to hit a trail this morning, and I was looking into the trail, and thank you everybody for joining on the simulcast, on the broadcast, and in the audience. Yeah, we hit a trail today. It was called Potato Mountain. First time exploring it. And I had to do a little research on it to see. Basically, I wanted to know the name, the history of the name, and I really couldn't find the origins of the name. Do you have
Really?
any insight on that?
That's crazy. You dug deep to try to find the meaning of the Potato Mountain.
I did, and what I found, I don't believe is accurate. From what I found is people take potatoes up to the top of the peak where we got to, and they leave
Okay.
them up there. But I feel that they went and left them up there because they found out it's called Potato Mountain. I don't feel that people went up, put so many potatoes, and then they're like, oh, we should rename this mountain to Potato Mountain
No.
because
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That doesn't make sense.
for
So
sure.
I dug a little bit more, and I'm trying to let me pull it out so I could be accurate. But we're also going to be reviewing two beers because this show is called Drunks, and it's about working out and earning your beer, and then we just try and review different beers, and anyone is welcome to. Oh yeah, check out the shirts right here.
Check the merch,
Yeah.
y'all. Check the merch, y'all.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and so we went to this trail. It's in the what would you call it? The Claremont
Yeah,
area,
Claremont Wilderness.
and that's in California. And there, um, you know, with that trail being there, I always wondered why it's not part of the national forest. So from what I could tell and from what I read, it says that early in the 1920s, Erie Canyon was purchased by Herman Gardner, and he sought to like kind of keep the area prestige, and he kept it good. And then he died in 1983, and he deeded that property over to Pomona College, one of the Claremont colleges. So that is why they're in control of it because that property was deeded by the original owner who purchased it, and it was excluded from the national forest.
That's
As far as I
interesting.
could tell, yeah.
That and you research this because you have to explain why we even like why did you even think to research that? Because we got stopped by a park ranger, correct today?
Oh, actually, the Potato Mountain just always kind of made me wonder why is it called Potato Mountain? But then the park ranger too kind of made me more curious as well. And now that I actually recall, I believe through Potato Mountain and the Claremont Loop, you can connect to it's called Burbank Trail. And
Okay.
I'm like, can you actually get to Burbank, California from that loop? That's what I've been wondering.
Oh, that's probably the one I was on the opposite side of the Potato Mountain trailhead from the Claremont Loop. That was like saying the potato being on the right hand side of the top of the Claremont Loop. On the left hand side, it would make sense if it goes that far because that would be the direction of west. I wonder
Yeah,
if
so
that's
that
the
that makes it
case.
more interesting because then you're
Yeah.
going over through the national forest. You're going like through Azusa, San Dimas, Laverne. Like you're going through those mountains all the way to get to the other end. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look into because I've been to Burbank. It's more on the opposite side. And for those listening in who aren't from California, Burbank, there's a lot of studios. I'm sure you've heard of it. There's a lot of like TV studios there, ABC's there, Disney's there. They
Yeah.
filmed a lot. They do a lot of cartoon drawings
Universal
there as
or
well.
yeah, that's right. Is it Universal or the other one? The George Lopez show.
Uh,
Which one? What? Remember we went to the
I
George
don't.
Lopez show? That
Yeah, I
was,
don't remember, but
I
that's
believe it's
also where
Universal.
the Tonight Show's filmed, or it was
That's
before
right.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Fallon got it. So Burbank has like a history, and that's why every time I seen it, I'm like, is that the same Burbank? And how long would it take to actually hike it? So that'll be the next thing I want to look into is the Burbank Trail from there.
I imagine it has to be an easy we're talking mountain miles too, though, and we're cutting across traffic. Like there's nothing. It still has to be an easy 20 to 30, correct? Like right in your mind?
Well, depending on the elevation, because if I'm going off the top of my head, I believe Potato Mountain's elevation is 3,482 feet. That's the height.
That's
And
not
as
bad.
you,
And we did that. That was a we did what 2 miles, 2 miles of a straight incline the whole way.
but
Starting the trail run today, and it was pretty good. I wouldn't say it was a kick ass trail, like as far as like it'll beat your ass. Like it wasn't die hard, but it was pretty. It was nice. It's not grueling, but it's a good trail to train on for sure. I was pretty
I just
impressed
don't
with.
see how I don't see how those trails would connect because even like I know the whole Glendora Mountain Ridge from Azusa that disconnects and you can't keep going. So then
Oh really?
you have to take some sort of alternative one. The closest thing that I could think of is when I think it's called the EC 100. That's a 100-mile race. One of my friends did it, and you start in the back of the mountain, like towards the 15, and you run. It's
Okay.
100 miles, and you finish in Altadena. It's the AC 100. It's a top 100 ultra. It's up there.
Is that the one that goes through Mount Wilson at one point, or no?
I think so. Yeah,
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 yeah. That's a really yes. That's a strong one.
yeah. It is. So everyone else, we're also going to be testing some beer, and I'm eager. I'm ready to crack one open already because I've
I'm
never
with
tried
you
this
with
one.
that.
So,
So let's try them together because today, anyone that's been on the podcast before, we have both beers. We're doing two beers today, and we both have them, which is might be the first time we both have the same beers. Tell me if I'm wrong,
possibly.
but yeah,
Well,
possibly, right?
I think we have had the same beers, but we also like throw in some bonus beers, which is
Yes,
understandable.
because we're fucking drunks, and we like to
so
run. Yeah.
so this one is what Carl is. Oh, actually, I think it's by the same one that makes the boats. I just
They're both.
noticed.
They're both Carl Straws. I did a little research on Carl Straws today. As I have, always been kind of. I've always been. I always admired their beers. They've had pretty good beers. So they've been around. Like as far as for a craft brewery, they're from San Diego, California, and they've been around for 32 years. That would. I'm not sure if that surpasses Stone or the other one that we were talking about, Stone and what was the other one that we are talking about from California? Definitely, definitely Hangar 24. But I think they're even like 10 years. They have 10 years on Stone Brewery, so
Wow.
they're for sure the San Diego's first craft beer brewery, and they've
Oh, Ballast Point is in San Diego, so they got more
Ballast
history than
Point's a
Ballast
big
Point.
one. That's a huge one. I'm pretty sure Carl Strauss has been before that, and it's kind of overlooked. How's that? A nice mug, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that one pint? Is that the boat shoes?
No, it's probably no. This
Oh,
is
that's Aurora Happy Alice.
yes, and I've never had it, so that's why I'm starting off with this one.
Oh, good. I'll join you. Give me a second.
Yeah. So this one right here, as I mentioned, I've never tried before, and it's Aurora Hopialis IPA. As mentioned, it is from San Diego, California. It is a handcrafted beer, and this one, oh, it's a 7.0 alcohol percentage, which is quite surprising. I actually did not think it'd be that strong. Also, while he's grabbing his, and before I taste mine, let me show you the other beer we're going to be drinking, trying out, giving the opinion. This is also by Carl Strauss, and this one's the Boat Shoes Hazy IPA. I think they've recently made some changes to their can. I believe it was like beige or brown before, and this one is a hazy. Well, it says hazy, juicy, tropical, also handcrafted, San Diego, and this one is a 7.2%.
I'm
So
not
this
gonna
one I
lie.
have had before, and I enjoyed it, so that's why I grabbed this one. And also, if this is your first time listening in, thank you for joining. This is Drunk's episode with me, Coach Ray Z, and my co-host Ty. And Ty's probably run like I don't know, maybe between 5 to 10 marathons. and I've done 55, and we're just big runners, love to work out, and if all you do is drink beer, you're gonna get fat. I mean, it's pretty obvious, empty calories. Um, and so we believe there's nothing wrong with living a balanced life. People have kids. Not everybody wants to be a professional fighter or boxer or football player. They work hard and they feel they deserve a beer, and as you should, but you should earn it. That way, you don't have health issues, and it's a good balance because especially right now with the whole pandemic, alcohol sales have gone up, and also the average person gained 29 pounds. So by earning your beer is a great way to maintain your weight. If you're not going to lose any. So cheers. Did you
Cheers.
take a sip already?
Well, I have, and I've tried this in the past. This is a good
So
beer.
yeah, let everybody know what you think of this beer since you've had it already. Um, and-
It's it's definitely well named. It's called Aurora Hopialis. Obviously everyone knows it's because of Aurora Borealis, clever little name for that for the Northern Lights. And if you don't know, look it up. Anyways, it's a cool beer because it is hoppy. You definitely taste the hops, but it's not overbearing, and it's still highly drinkable. I really appreciate this beer. When I go to Disneyland, they have it at a few places that I can go to, and it's like, okay, cool, you have a good IPA. I hate when they have like whack IPAs where you're like, damn, I can't even enjoy a beer. I might as well not even drink. So this is one of the beers that you get. It's very drinkable. It's tasty, but yet you feel that volume. You feel the volume in it. Do you taste the hops and do you think it's overbearing? Because I like it.
right. My first time trying it, at first tasting it, it's not overbearing. I don't really taste like so hoppy as like other beers, so it's not like overwhelming on the hops. Even though by the name, I would definitely think it'd be like way more hoppy, but
It's
it's
hoppier
actually
than like a Space Dust or a Claremont L. It is, but it doesn't take away from it. It actually the
right.
hoppiness to it is it's inviting and really pleasant, refreshing, in my
Because I've
opinion.
I've had too much hop where it tastes kind of bitter to a point.
Hmm.
So yeah, this one's a nice balance actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You like it? I thought you would.
no, I like it, and surprisingly, like I said, for it being a 7.0, I'm really surprised at the taste. It's quite refreshing actually.
It is.
So
It's a good beer. Crossroads
and
makes a great product. Yeah.
yeah, and getting to know that they're from Cali makes it even better. I didn't know they were in San Diego, and I've
Oh
had the
yeah,
other
yeah,
beers
yeah.
before.
Yeah, Crossroads. They make a couple. They make a couple of Red Trolley Ale. I believe is their beer that they make. That caters to a lot of people that can't have any glucose. I think it's their glucose beer where there's no glutamines in it at all. So like if you have like some kind of fiber like problem like that, you can drink that.
Mm.
They have a couple. They have a lot of beers like geared towards specific drinkers that able them to still drink. Like the Red Charlie Ale. There's Aurora Hopialis, which is IPA. There's one actually called. If you go on the website, it's called. I just saw it today, and I'm gonna find it now. It's called the Mosaic Double IPA.
Wait, so
Mosaic is
red
one of my
trolleys by them
favorite
too?
hops. What's that?
The red trolleys by them too?
The Red Charlie is by them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they make some really good beers, and they're very consistent. And uh, going through the website, just kind of like learning about them a little bit more. They like all the brewers, or like all the people involved, are they have a passion for beer. That's their thing. That's why they're there, and it's good when you have people that are passionate about what they do. This is what you get: a really good product. I think Carl Strauss is a brand that doesn't get recognized enough for having really good quality, great tasting beer.
Yeah, their beer, in my opinion, is really good tasting, and um, I could see, kind of with the San Diego crowd how it is, where they would have a variety of you know different types of beer to cater to different types, from like vegans to what you mentioned, fiber. I could see that. Um, in some ways, like living in bigger cities, you're blessed by getting more options as far as that, because you'll have more of a diversity than probably living in a small town.
Right. Yeah, San Diego's it's like a little gem of a city. You know, if people don't know that like from other states, but or they do, I don't know. Like San Diego's that place. Like we're from the LA County. We're from this. Our I love where we're from. But when you go to San Diego, it's almost like you're going to another state or another world because it's a little bit different. It's
It's a
same
different
but
vibe.
different.
Yeah,
It's a definitely
yeah.
different vibe. Like the restaurants are a little better. You can tell that they take. There's a lot. There's a how do I verbalize this? There's a there's a pride. There's pride in the community, big time in San Diego. There's just so much pride in that. Where it comes to the restaurants, to where even like just a regular diner for breakfast is like different in San Diego. It's bomb. It's just like top notch, next level. And you
All
pay
right.
for it. San Diego's expensive. You pay
I
for
was
everything there.
I was about to say that. I'm like, let's
Very
get the balance on
expensive.
San
Yeah.
Diego. Very expensive. There's no longer free parking anywhere. Even sometimes, if you rent a hotel, motel, they will still try and charge you additional for parking. It is kind of
Wow.
becoming like San Francisco. I used to go there every year to run the San Diego Marathon, and I'd hang out there for the weekend, just to go to San Diego. It's nice, and it's always in the summertime, but yeah, it's pretty steep now. It's pretty steep now, and I'm sure it's even more now with the whole COVID and yeah, the
It
parking
is. I
restriction
mean,
is
everything is more now. Everything. McDonald's, like McDonald's before, used to cost me like, I don't know, 30, 25 bucks. Even like everything's expensive. Now it costs me like 35 bucks, whatever. Just little stuff like McDonald's, like as a small example, like uh, everything's expensive. Like the cost of crab, the cost of steak, the cost of hamburger meat. Everything's more now. But beer actually hasn't climbed that much. You know, you're still getting a pretty good deal. Um,
surprisingly, and
Depending on what
surprisingly, like
you're used to.
imagine like if during COVID, like how they had that whole toilet paper like shortage. Imagine if
Yeah,
that would have happened with alcohol. How crazy people would have been. That would have been not good, in my
that
opinion.
that's funny. Uh, that was weird, huh? There was a whole. I remember during that whole time period, me and my wife, we would go to like these little small places that wouldn't normally like sell to the public. We're like, here we have this, we have that, we have toilet paper, we have this and that. We did it. Like, we bought a big like fucking can of green beans from a company just because we might not have green beans later. We didn't even eat green beans, and we still have the can. It was a lot of dramatics, a lot, and only because we didn't know. It wasn't like we were naive. It was just something very new and kind of scary at the time. So like
Well,
running out of toilet paper, I get mad when I run out of paper towels. Toilet paper is a bigger issue, but even paper towels, something like that where I can't even grab a paper towel. I'm like, oh shit! Like, what do I do? Like, I'm a spoiled Californian, not even spoiled American. I'm a spoiled Californian. So that stuff like that is like paper towels. You gotta, I need it every time. I abuse
I
paper towels, but I want to have
yeah,
them. Yeah.
I'm a researcher. I find something interesting, and I have to look into it. So when that whole thing went down, I looked into toilet paper, and America is one of the few countries that actually is willing to spend their hard-earned money on something to wipe their ass. Most
For
countries
sure.
don't feel it's worth it to like they'd rather buy food. There's more important things, you know, and there other countries clean themselves in different ways. And I also saw this product. They are not sponsoring anything, but at first I thought it was a joke. That's why I shared it. It's called Culo Clean, and then I'm like, oh, it's real. They did a
Culo
fundraiser.
clean.
Yeah, and it's almost like a fancy just a squirt bottle, but they made it so that it almost kind of turns like into a bidet. Is that what it's
Uh huh.
called in France?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
you can put it to any water bottle, and you just
Oh, okay.
fucking.
It's
So
like
you,
a
you can go
portable bidet.
hiking. You can use it at your house. You can,
Oh, no
yeah.
way.
And they
So
spend
it
money
just
on the technology. I don't know how much it is, but when I realize how spoiled we are and how we're like one of the few countries to spoil and how many trees we kill, I was like, man, I want to find an alternative, because I don't know. At some point, I realized like I don't want to be the human. that just consumed, and just took from the planet. Like, what did I give back to the planet?
I
Like,
got you.
yeah. So it's not easy. I still haven't transitioned from it, but if that ever goes down, and then living in California, yeah, there was like a shortage on kind of food. I'm sure across the nation, but people panicked, and I got a bunch of canned food. I Years ago, I'm like, I won't eat processed food, so I didn't even buy canned food. So when that went down, I was like, damn, I need canned food, and then canned food became like a prized possession, and I was like,
So
damn.
yeah, a survival
And then
tactic.
some people are like, we don't even eat it. What are we going to do with it? But I say you hold on to it because they're usually good for 2 to 3 years, especially if you live in LA. We don't know when the earthquake could happen as well. Obviously, they're not going to get to all of us right away. We've seen it in different states like New Orleans. Just depending on how much they value that life, they may not. They might not send rescue people right away. So you got to be able to survive for a couple weeks to maybe even a month on your own. And then when the cans turn 1 year old or 1 year to expire, then that's when I'll take them to like a food donation place,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, and then get more cans. Even though I don't like canned food, but it's really more like we don't know what's going to happen with the economy. Everyone's getting crazy, and we live in earthquake country where we're overdue.
We're overdue, but again, we're spoiled in California to the point where I don't really look at earthquakes as something that we need to worry about. That we need to worry about, like, I don't know, this COVID thing and how far they're going to take it next level with these cases right now. Something like that, where it's like, okay, how is it gonna? Am I gonna be able to work? Or are my kids going back on Zoom? You know what I mean? Like earthquakes. Like we live in a cool ass state, cool ass area where earthquakes do not really mean anything to us. We're lucky. We're spoiled. We are
I,
earthquakes. That's all we
I, I'm
have.
I agree with you, and then I don't. So I'm
Do you
like to the
think
point
that
where
one's
like
gonna
I'll,
come and
I'll
kill
sleep
us?
through an earthquake. I'll sleep through it, but other people
Yeah,
won't.
I slept through many,
Other people
and
will not.
I'd been awake. You remember that one? I think I was in fifth grade a year before I went to the school where I met you, and there was that big one. I think it was a Whittier earthquake. It
Probably
was like 7 a.m.
Northridge, the Northridge.
The
Yeah.
Northridge one. It was like 7 a.m. or something like that. I remember right before school, my mom was already in downtown LA at work or going there, and I was by myself. I just remember just rolling. It was a roller, just rolling like a surfing. Like, oh, this is I was by myself. But like it stopped, everything was cool, and that's the worst I gotten. And it's never been worse than that. So it could get that worse, or I don't know, because our infrastructures are
Well,
pretty well built. We have good
uh,
architecture. We're very very spoiled. Like I don't have to worry about that.
our buildings are. I don't believe the rolling buildings. I don't think they are. I could be wrong, but a lot of our
With our
infrastructure is
skyscrapers,
old.
oh
Yeah,
no
a
no
lot of
no,
it it's
they're
old.
definitely rolling. No, they're definitely they're the reason why. Yeah, our skyscrapers are definitely were built to roll.
I don't know. They're pretty old. Most of
No
our
no
buildings
no, they
are
are.
old.
No, they are. I know
And
that.
and the last time the San Andreas went off was it's been over 100 years, and it goes off typically over every 100 years, and it's
It's a
been
big one. Yes,
yeah.
I've
So
heard
we're
that
like
one.
120 years overdue,
Yeah,
roughly.
we're like
So
20 years. We're 20 years overdue, right?
the but and yeah, that one like to some people like we're like we're in California, we're used to it, but to some people even here they're still tripping about it. But to me, the other one that we're overdue and I'm more concerned about, it's either uh, it's in one of the national parks. It's either Yellowstone or Yosemite, and they have
Okay.
like a volcano, I think. Uh,
Maybe.
and it's overdue to erupt, and when it does, it's gonna supposedly just
Oh, it's
like
Yellowstone. It's Yellowstone.
yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
like leave particles in the air, like fires. You know how we're in
Yeah.
California, so there's
Well,
fires
they have, yeah.
every year. So the air quality is gonna be bad, where it could like supposedly wipe out a few states, and it could be like that for years because of the
Yeah.
eruption.
those geysers have been active like crazy. Like the Yellowstone geysers are just like this. You know, people look at it like it's like a cute little beauty, but this is the Earth's core. You know, heating up, bubbling like a fucking jacuzzi. Excuse my French, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah, the whole point, the whole fact that like we are living on this rock, this rock that's moving constantly and can ultimately do anything it needs to. It can implode. It can do anything. Like, we have no control over it. So yeah,
Yeah, we're such
it's
control
definitely
freaks
Yellowstone though.
as human beings, and actually, I wanted to touch on this earlier, but was kind of excited to try this beer, but I kind of wanted to touch on I wouldn't say, well, I wanted to touch on the passing of a firesider, and which is Bob Saget. He joined the community, and I got to go in, and Fireside is a really cool community for those of you listening in. If you could click on the link and submit to come in, and I got to go to a couple rooms, so you actually get to like be conversations. And then growing up watching the show, and then after I saw him on what was it, is it Half Baked, I seen him a little bit in there, and then I got to actually see his comedy. I'm like, oh man, this guy's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
and
yeah,
and
yeah.
so he just passed away, and I just wanted to say R.I.P. His wife also has a show on here too, and I
Oh,
got in
really?
there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Rest in peace, Bob Saget. Like, same. I mean, before I knew how dope and edgy he was, when he was just Dan Tanner on Full House. I mean, come on, we all watched that. Like, we're from that generation. Like when TGIF, Thank God It's Friday, the TV.
oh my
That's all
god,
we had. That's
I
all
forgot
we
about
had,
that.
right? Like you had to watch it. You watch him. You watch
Uh, Wait, unless you're
Uncle.
balding and had cable.
Maybe, but what were they
I didn't
watching?
have cable back then. I didn't have cable back then. I
No,
got
but
cable
even
late in the
even
game.
with cable, they weren't watching TV shows like that. Everyone was watching Thank God It's
That's true.
Friday. Everybody. There was no
Yeah,
like
that's true.
there was no better. Thank God It's Friday. So you're watching Family Matters. You're watching what was the Urkel show called? Oh, Family Matters, right? Full House, Family Matters. There
Yeah,
was like
that's
two
right.
other shows like that,
Yeah.
and you just that's what you watch. Everybody watched that. Very similar to music videos. Like when you're our age, when you're on MTV, the reason why we're exposed to so much music is because we had it all. Like MTV had one station, so you're listening to like Billy Idol, Run DMC, Beastie Boys, uh, uh, Nirvana coming out. You know, like we're exposed to all that because there was one station that kind of brought it all together, uh, and that's kind of missing. But yeah, Full House, that was a huge show. Everybody knows the Olsen twins. They were they were cute as buttons. Like the whole thing, like him, like Bob Saget, like just being who he was. I thought
Yeah,
it was actually. I have some more. I just more insight to Bob Saget that you might find that interesting. You might find interesting. It's interesting to me, so it has to be interesting to everybody else. So if anyone knows, if anyone doesn't know, I'm a big hip hopper. I'm big into hip hop. So a guy named Vinny Paz from Jedi Mind Tricks. Have you heard of him? You know Jedi Mind
I
Tricks by name at least.
I've heard that name. Yeah, I mean, there's so
Okay.
many, but yeah, I think I've heard that name. Yeah.
Okay. So Jedi Mind Tricks. So he posted that I saw Bob Saget like in '05 at my show, and I was like, "What are you doing here?" It was with Jedi Mind Tricks and Dal the Funky Homo Sapien. Remember Dal, Ice cousin, Mr. Dabalina, Mr. Bob Dabalina.
Yeah, yeah.
Turns out Bob Saget was a huge hip hop head, and they were saying that like I just like he's one of the reasons why we never judge a book by its cover because this guy Dan Tanner came to check for us. Like he actually came to the show to check for these hip hop artists. He was that dope, bro. I can imagine him coming with a blunt, you know what I mean, or just doing his thing, a couple beers or whatever, and just vibing to hip hop. Like he was really a hip hop lover. Like that's what they're saying. I was blown away when I heard that today. It made me smile. I was like, damn. that dude was cool. My real impression that I got from him was from the Joe Rogan show. I believe he did it like maybe 2 years ago. He did a full 3 hours. Joe Rogan was like, dude, I never met you. I never met you either. Just mutual respect as always. And then they were just talking. And I was like, dude, this dude is so awesome. And he didn't like he didn't scrutinize his role or his act that he had to be like the family dad. But he's like, but you can see who he was. And if
And
I'm a family dad, you know what I mean.
but
But
not
at the
only
same time, I'm a drunks
right
podcaster, as in I run, I drink, I do all that. But the balance of Bob Saget was pretty dope and amazing, especially the
because also America's Funniest Home Videos. That straight. That
oh,
was
that's huge. Exactly, that's
like
huge.
a straight and narrow. Like where you can't like really you can't cuss at all. And if you got to hear any of his comedy, I mean, he cussed. It was funny. I was a fan of his comedy once I actually learned he was like a comic. And
Yeah,
yeah, that show was iconic. When I went to San Francisco, and I've only been there once, to run the San Francisco Marathon, I made it a point to go out of my way to go through and see the Full House, because that's where it's at. So I went by and,
I
you
remember
know,
the pictures. Yeah,
yeah. So I'm like, so R.I.P. Recently, they always say they go in threes, but yeah,
they did.
yeah. So
They already did, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's recently a few iconic people have passed, so I'm like, wow.
Three iconic people: Betty White, Sidney Poitier, and Bob
Yep,
Saget.
yep,
That's crazy.
yeah.
They do say threes. It's weird how the numerology plays a toll in our lifetime. It really does. There's a system to it, right? We'll get into that
Uh,
later. Maybe in the green room. There's a
Yeah,
system.
possibly.
It's a
Yeah.
mathematical system. It is always in threes, and it shows three very different people, but they're very iconic in the same way as everyone knows who Bob Saget is. Everyone knows who Betty White is, and everyone knows who Sidney Poitier is. As in, you at least heard his name. You
I'm
know who he is. It's so old school, but it's just like it's synonymous with opening doors. He
I'm
opened the
blessed
doors to all of us,
to
all of
kind
us
of have
minorities.
like I'm blessed to have kind of like a good like gap of like different types of friends and nephews and where the age range is like from you're young, like, oh, okay, you're this generation, to older. So I asked like my youngest nephews, do you know who Bob Saget is? They knew. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know who Betty damn, I
White.
forgot her name. Yeah, Betty White is, and they knew. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
like
From the
you're
Snicker
like
commercials.
from Snake, yeah, from whatever. I'm like, they
For
know it,
them,
and so it's
remember,
amazing. Certain people can transcend through generations. You
for
know,
sure, it takes a special person, and all three of them were special. And you're right. And Bob Saget with the world's funniest videos, like that transcends, and that's going to be that was like that's before ridiculousness and um uh
ridiculous is. Let's be honest. I love Rob. Is that his? No, that's Rob. That was Rob and Big.
no, it is
What-
Rob. That is
It is
him.
Rob. Yeah, but that's a
Rob
straight
Dyrdek.
bite. That's a straight
It is a bite.
American.
It's a super
I mean,
bite.
like one thousand
It's a
percent bite.
crazy bite. But it's
Yeah,
okay. It was his own. He's not a
his
biter.
own flavor. Yeah.
His own flavor. He made it. He made it fun. He did his own thing. But the original is America's Funniest Videos, and you
Yep.
can't. And he knows that. It's not even a diss. Like Rob Dyrdek does his thing, all good. Betty White. She was on that one show, the Philadelphia show, or Cleveland or whatever. Nigga. Oh, you're already
I
on the
never
next
seen
track.
that. Yeah, I'm already on the next one.
Okay.
So I'll be trying the Carl Strauss boats shoes Hazy
Hold on, guys.
IPA. I don't know why they call it shoes because I don't see shoes at all.
Uh, hold on. Let me give you. I think boat shoes is. Hold on.
Oh, maybe that's
I
a.
forgot to tell you guys that I was. This is my new pint glass that I'm testing out. My wife just bought it to me. Bought it for me today. I got it delivered. This is unbreakable glass. This is not even glass. Looks nice, right?
Uh, okay, wait. Is that a 22 pint? 22?
Yeah, because I filled two up.
So you're telling me that you could throw that on the ground and it won't break? Like you could
Yes,
go like boom.
yes,
Yeah?
I can do it right
I've
now.
never I've never heard of unbreakable glass. No, don't do that. You'll spill the beer. But I've never heard of that.
Are you sure? Watch.
Well, no, I believe. I mean, there's bulletproof. But I wouldn't do it. Well, wait. If you are
Bring
going
it
to do
up.
it, we want to see the whole actual smash on the floor.
You can't get it smashed. It's unbreakable. It's not gonna
That's what I
smash.
know. I want to see
Yeah.
what does it do? Bounce?
Watch.
That is crazy.
I don't think we can do it live. Let me see if we can.
That
Watch.
is, that is worth
You
a
see on the
YouTube
ground?
video. Yeah, yeah. Wait, that actually does not sound like glass though.
It's not
It's
glass. It's unbreakable glass, but it actually holds a good beer.
interesting.
Watch. Ready?
Yeah. Hmm. Does it actually feel like glass?
It does feel like glass, and it tastes like when it's cold. When I filled it up,
Uh
it tastes like a yeah. I'm very impressed
huh.
with it.
I am too. I am too. That is that is interesting. There you go. Unbreakable
Next
glass. You
beer.
got a free plug on the hottest beer review show podcast,
Drunks.
Drunks. And
I'm about to get the boat shoes.
as far as I know, I think it's the only beer review show on Fireside. So just breaking records, setting a beer
Trend.
review records trends. Yeah. Um, wow. So I clocked in on my app that I did 3.7 miles, and I know you got further. So that's interesting. That's something that I guess I need to look into is the accuracy of different apps because maybe you used a different app than I did. I used Map My Run. Uh, Strava is really popular.
I use
I know
Strava,
you use Strava. Yeah. See,
but you know what? I think
popular
you know why.
amongst Strava is really popular amongst like running communities or groups or challenges because you can really comment and see it. Although you can do that in other ones, like Map My Fitness is since it got bought by Under Armour has really come up a lot. They spend a lot of money into the app for the features if you want to pay for it. But even the free features are really good. So I'm gonna do a review because as we keep going, more wearable technology is getting more popular and things of that nature, like those suits that you could wear and not get cold or not get hot. Have you seen
Yeah,
those?
that's weird. There's like a bunch of shit in my in this pour of this boat shoes.
Is that the same mug?
No, I switched it up. This is brand new. This is my goblet.
There's all kinds of wood in there.
I don't know. You don't. It looks like a bunch of like debris.
Well, that must have been the mug before because mine I don't see any debris.
Okay, I'll try it out. It's okay. Oh yeah. So
So
I was
this
gonna ask you before I drink this. What were you saying? Hold on. Let me drink this first, so I'll remember.
this one's a 7.2. And this is a little confusing because I typically don't see all three names at the same time. Says hazy, juicy, tropical. So I've seen
Good.
juicy IPAs, I've seen hazy, and I've seen tropical, but this one has it all at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. I didn't notice that before too. Hazy, juicy, tropical.
And I believe they updated the can because it was 10, or maybe it's on the state. It varies because you can literally buy Budweiser in different states, and it'll be different alcohol percentages.
Correct.
Yeah,
Oh, is that right?
Yep, it's
In different
different per
states?
state. Yep,
Hmm.
and like I believe in Alaska, there's in certain parts there's not even alcohol allowed. Like it's like a felony.
Like Utah on Sundays, you just can't you
Well, I
can't
don't know if
purchase
it's a
it.
felony in Utah, but you can't
Oh, it's
buy
not.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
But
there's certain states.
I've gone to Zion Brewery in Utah. It was good.
Is that fun? Utah sounds like it'd be a drag to drink in. Like go to a bar, it'd be like a drag. Like it'd be
Well,
like I could be wrong. They could be really hip and cool, and it could be the best time of my life. But I would think it'd be kind of like drab and I don't know, like boring. I
I
could be
went with a bunch of
wrong, but I
people
don't
I
know.
knew. That's why, it was like a runners from that ran the Zion Half Marathon.
Oh,
So it was
okay,
a running group. Yeah,
that'd be
but
cool.
yeah, I mean, it was it's definitely different there. I think I was the only Mexican when I went into town. I don't recall seeing any other Mexicans, but
The whole
I can't
time?
say. Well, I spent most of my time in the trails in
Yeah,
Zion
yeah,
National
yeah.
Park and running. So I'm not gonna say nobody was mean to me. No one was racist.
Yeah.
Um, but like I don't think I saw one taco place there. Like I literally thought, dude, if I go open up
Crazy.
a taco place, I'll blow up. Going into
Killing.
Zion, on the left and right, there's restaurants, Starbucks, McDonald's. There's a Thai place I went to. There was not one Mexican restaurant, nothing that I saw at the time. And that was like maybe 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're saying that we need to invest, put some money in on the restaurant in Utah, a Mexican restaurant. We both can get enough bomb ass Mexican cooks to handle it. We just take our family members.
Yeah. You know, basically Mexicans are everywhere. So I wonder why they haven't gone to Zion. Like,
That is weird. That's seriously
yeah.
weird because I know Mexicans are like like in Florida where I thought it'd be more like Cubano or like Puerto Rican or whatever, and it's like no, you got to have your Mexican spots like this. You can't.
Especially when some people feel that Salt Lake City is like the lost city of Aslan, like the main,
Heard that
like,
before.
yeah.
Why do they think that? Because
Well,
it traveled over the
Utah,
land.
New Mexico, Texas, California was all part of Mexico. And there's this, I mean,
In
based
California,
on,
you said California already, right? Yeah.
yeah, California. That's why everything in California is like, has that Los Angeles, El
What about San
Monte,
Diego? San Diego's way
San
more.
Diego,
Every area street area is a Spanish influence.
San Diego, and
San
LA because
Diego,
of the missionaries.
yes,
All
yes,
the missionaries that came
huge.
over here. Yeah,
San Bernardino,
yep.
you know,
And
San Juan Capistrano,
San
San
Fernando
Fernando.
Valley, San
Yeah,
Diego,
it is all Mexico.
I mean, it's interesting because, like, I looked into it a lot. So there's a Pico Pica, who's like a big, and I haven't
The green
researched this in
sauce.
years.
Pico Pico
No,
was the
so
green sauce, no? From the Ice Cream
no,
Man?
so he, if I'm wrong, I could be wrong. So remember, we're drinking, and I'm not a historian,
You're
but
drinking.
so Pico Pica, I believe, was one of the first governors when somehow this was Spain before Mexico, and
For
then
sure.
somehow I think he was like the guy who was like the governor of Spain when it turned to Mexico, and
Okay.
then I could be completely wrong about that, but for sure Pico Rivera is named after him.
Okay.
Pico
Interesting.
Pico Boulevard in
Yeah.
downtown LA is named
Yeah.
after him.
Okay.
Uh, he
Interesting.
owned
Well,
he
if
owned
Pico
like
Boulevard is
Pico
named after him,
Hotel.
Pico
Yep.
Rivera is named after him. It has to be. It has to be.
So
It's all relevant.
he was like the first, and I think he was like half black, half Latino. Like he was
What?
like the yeah. He's got an interesting history. You could look
Are
into
you
it. I'm like,
serious?
yeah, Pico Pica. That's his name.
You guys,
The other
I'm
guy,
gonna. Okay. I
Yeah,
gotta look them
look
up.
into him. So he owned a lot of LA, and then the other guy was the guy that owned the
Arboretum.
arboretum
Which one?
in Arcadia,
In Arcadia. Okay.
and
Right across from the racetrack and
that
the
was
mall.
yeah, his last name is Baldwin. So he owned basically everything from
Yeah. Okay.
Arcadia
Baldwin Boulevard
to
in
Baldwin Park
Arcadia.
Boulevard.
Baldwin
So
Boulevard. No.
he owned
Baldwin.
almost
They
everything.
have a Baldwin in Arcadia, not Baldwin Park, but Baldwin.
No, all the way to Baldwin Park where you see that water tower. He owned
Hmm.
all that land. That was all his.
So the whole Baldwin it was off this dude. The whole Baldwin influence is off this dude.
Yep. That's why
Wow.
that bar
I
across
didn't
from
know
Santa
that.
Anita Racetrack is called Lucky Baldwin's. It's named after
Mm.
him as well. I think he owned it at one point as
Lucky
well.
Baldwin to the Irish pub, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So him, and then there's
No,
let's see here.
that
Uh,
that's knowledge, bro. Hey, Baldwin Avenue is like prominent right there in Arcadia.
and it goes all the way to Baldwin Park, which he owned all that land.
What? So the first in and out on his
He
property.
he was baller, like he was baller. Yeah, he was
The
baller
first in and
status.
out. If anyone that's watching this podcast from another state, In and Out is the best hamburger you can buy, value, quality, taste, and it started in Baldwin Park. It started in Baldwin Park, right? And that's crazy. His name was William Baldwin. You said
I don't remember his first name. His last name's Baldwin. But in
Baldwin.
that arboretum, they filmed like Fantasy Island and other TV shows as well. And then I watched Hugh Hauser, who was like this guy on PBS who would do like California history. And then he
Yeah.
talked about how
Great
like
dude.
I think San Fernando Valley was called Sancho Margarita before, and Pico Pica sold that like farm and helped certain people get established in San Fernando, help people get established in LA. And then his German friends, he helped establish them in the OC, which is Anaheim, which is German. So that's a German origin started Anaheim. That's why it's called Anaheim.
Yeah, Anaheim. It makes sense because if you go on Catella, you'll see like a German like restaurant. Like it's weird that it's there, but it's always been there when you go to Disneyland, right? Right before when you get off on Catella from the was it five? There's this German restaurant, and it's like Anaheim is German. It makes sense that you say that. Yeah, it's like a straight German brewery. They probably have all the fucking like sauerkraut and all the shit that we don't like.
And I could be wrong, but I'm just assuming that they came over during the war or they came over from Mexico because so many of them came over to Mexico to show them how to brew beer, and
Both.
then
Yeah.
both, and
No, the
then
Germans influenced
you know,
Mexico and everything. The whole German
not
influence.
just them,
No,
but a lot of
I already.
people.
Oh no, Germans influence every culture as far as beer making,
Oh
except
no,
for
as far as
maybe
beer making, yeah. But I'm saying like Mexico has a lot of influences because like if it wasn't for the
the
Spanish
Spanish.
coming over,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have carnitas. We wouldn't have pastor because
True.
there was no pig prior to that. You know,
Yeah, because it was brought over. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
it's I'm kind of when I was in school I hated history, but then I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This is and yeah. And now with the internet, it's like you could. I spend more time, I think, researching things and scrolling through social media.
As
A
you
lot of,
should.
and a lot of workout stuff. I consume hours of workout information.
Well, yeah. You were telling me earlier. I don't know if you want to tell the crowd, but you're one of your 2022s is you're going back to you going back to jujitsu strong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of my goals is to compete this year. It's been I feel like 4 years since I competed,
Okay.
and
How do you feel?
uh,
You told me
I,
that. I'm just saying this just because we're gonna have real talks on our drunk podcast. So you were saying that like with this knee over toes thing and this whole like new way of training, like you can't be your best now.
Yeah, I don't feel like when I go back, I'm like missing out as much as if I just did regular workouts. Um, but I've also been through this before when I had stitches in my eye when I got it during jiu-jitsu and I had to miss uh, quite some time.
Mm,
And my whole goal was like, oh, I want to compete again. I can't wait to get back and be able to, do it the way I want to do it. And then when I finally did it, I lost. And that was okay. I was just happy like after like a year and something to like get back on the mat and compete and do
right.
what I love. And then the pandemic happened and then it just changed my whole perspective. It's like it doesn't matter the belt or anything. I just enjoy doing it. I love doing it, and it's more like it's not really like a pressure. It's more like just to get back to my some sort of normalcy for me.
Normalcy, or maybe
Yeah.
like you were like running away from your best friend, and now you're like, hey, hold up, I love jujitsu.
Well, yeah. I
Why did I
mean,
run? Why did I run in the first place? Like, right? Like, I've always known you love. I've known you. I've known you for a long time, and you've always been into wrestling. So for you to take the jujitsu path was pretty normal. I was like, oh, that makes sense for him. You've loved wrestling all your life. So what made you? Why did you take so much time off? I mean, you explained it, but like mentally, like why?
the time off is just basically because I wanted time to, everyone has their own personal reasons, medical, family, why they will get vaccinated or not get vaccinated, and I
Oh
respect
wow,
everybody's
you're going down that
eh,
rabbit hole, huh? Okay,
no everybody's decision. So
for sure.
when that happened, jujitsu is such an intimate, close sport where
Very, yeah.
and we all have family members. Like, well, yeah, I could do that, but then what about them? You know. So there was a lot to contemplate, and geez, I think enough. It's been like a couple years now, so it's time for me to go back,
We're going
continue
on the
the
third
journey.
year. We talked about
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
and that's one thing I seen. I think El Salvador and I think the federal government paid for a message on getting in shape, and I would love to see
Really?
our federal government put out a message like that. That that doesn't mean you're not going to get sick, but it's scientifically proven that it reduces the chance of you getting sick. It helps your immune system, you know. So why aren't they talking any sort of prevention? You know, so I want to
Vitamin
see
D,
more of
vitamin
that.
C,
CNN
oregano
came out,
oil. Yeah.
so now finally, like big networks are coming out. CNN came out with an article saying that the a lot of people who are obese are the ones who. So I'm not fat shaming anybody, but okay, we're going into
Are they still
no
going
no
that direction though?
no. I'm just saying we're going into our third year, okay, and then what
Yeah.
about our fourth year, and what about our fifth year?
No, I'm not
Uh,
saying. Are they
no no
still
no.
saying
Hold on.
that
I'm just saying those people who are
Mhm.
drinking or I'm sorry, those people who keep complaining about you need to get vaxxed or not get vaxxed or just have their strong opinions, are these people like doing anything for themselves? Like at some point you can't like
Got you.
what about in the fifth year? You can't keep saying, well, you need to do this. Well, in those 5 years that have passed, have you done
Mhm.
anything for your health? Have you done anything for your fitness? Have you done any
Exactly.
are you a long hauler and smoking? Are you a long hauler and drinking and then trying to tell other people how and what to do with their body, but yet you won't take any sort of like control
Responsibility.
or responsibility
Yeah.
for you. You just want to keep telling everybody how to live and do with their body, but the medical facts are out that a lot of people who are obese and look at the numbers yourself. I'm not saying you shouldn't get vaccinated. I'm not saying you should. That's for you to decide. Everyone has their own personal decision. I love America and I love freedom, and that's why everyone has different situations. So I'm not one to judge. I'm just a human, and that's one thing that I don't believe, that one man or woman has the right to tell any other man or woman
For sure.
what to
It's
do.
it's just, it's IMO is one of the best, like, little like acronyms that they came out with, in my opinion. IMO, in my opinion. So you're talking, that's in your opinion. If I talk, my opinion is I don't give a shit about the rest of the world. And I'm sorry for being selfish with that. All I care about is my family is protected. And I will do everything to protect my family. And that can go like two tiers down the family, like stretch even to you, because you're family, because you're my brother. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, as far as my kid, my wife, my household, protected. Okay, then I have to understand that my wife's parents are older than my parents, so they have to be protected. So then we say, hey, what do you have to do to protect them? Forget fucking how cool you think you are because you don't take the vaccine, or how cool you think you are because you had the vaccine. Protect your fucking family. And that's it. It really comes down to just like, if you can just protect what's yours, then later on, and that works. And then we have the more like control, uh, or more, yeah, we can do more for other people. But first, take care of home, right? Always take care of home. So for me, I wear the mask. I wear the mask proudly for 12 hours. I don't do it. I don't need a bumper sticker. I wear the mask just so my immediate family doesn't get sick. So my immediate family goes to my offset family, like father, mother, my mother, on and on and on. Let's not get our family sick off this shit. I know people firsthand, bro, and I won't name, that I've never had a conversation with, that I know, that, like, I'm talking to, like, one of my brothers that I work with, and he lost a significant family member due to, like, lack of care. It wasn't his fault, but it was one of his family members' fault. And it's like, I can't have that conversation with them because people don't understand what that means. You know what I mean? Like what that means to be responsible. That's it. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't give a shit. Anti-vax or whatever. Wear a mask if you have to wear a mask, and that's it. Or don't. But if you don't wear a mask, don't fucking show up in public with me.
That, man, that's a really tough one.
It's
Because,
scary. It's because
well, I was gonna say
it creates
it's hard
enemies.
to blame one person, to give one person the fault, because that one person
Ooh,
did not create the virus.
true, true.
So
One person's
for
naive,
me,
like, hey, I don't know.
so
Go
yes,
on.
you can be careless. You can be careless, and I agree with you. You should protect your family, and you should take all the precautions. But it's really hard for me to blame one person within my family. Um, you know, they without naming names, but and where they're at, but they got together, and one of the daughters got COVID, and then her mom ended up passing away. Uh, Now, keep in mind, the mom was a diabetic and a smoker, and at no point did she
She could
take,
live.
and
Yeah.
and she was like in her 70s or something like
Okay.
that.
So
So
she still could have lived another
not
5 years.
it's very possible. It's
Yeah.
very possible. But
10.
when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. But if you're that worried about it, why wouldn't you stop smoking? Why wouldn't you maybe start thinking about, I have family members that have diabetes and have lost their legs because they just won't listen, and clean up their diet. It's like, what is it gonna take for some people? I don't know, and but
That's a very strong point.
I
I
don't
agree with
blame
you.
my family member for going over there. They they wanted to get together for Christmas, and and I don't blame like I could imagine how she feels like thinking that she killed her mom, but at the
I
same
wouldn't
time
even
it's
ask
like
the question.
she didn't create the virus, and it's a tough situation, and so many things can go into so many scenarios. So I just don't want to judge, but yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not trying to be a
when I
judge,
speak,
but it's just
no,
like
when I speak on it, it's not like it hasn't personally affected me. So I'm trying to be very like caring and precautious of the words I say because it's affected many different people that I
it
personally
has.
know where
It
they
really
have
has.
lost
It really
wives,
has.
sons, daughters, you
Fathers.
know. Yeah,
It really has. Give me a second. Go on. Go on. I hear you.
but at the same time, like I mentioned, I'm not saying that it's going to prevent you from getting sick or anything, but working out definitely will help you, can help you with your immune system, can help you with depression, which is something that has risen dramatically since the whole COVID. It can help you maintain your weight. The more overweight you are, the less chance you have of like making it. And I could be wrong, but I'll double check. But my brother-in-law works in a hospital, and so does my cousin. She and they have told me that the people that end up passing away are typically overweight or obese, and their organs and everything is just not strong enough to make it through like a difficult procedure, unfortunately. And some of it could be like drinking problems like psoriasis and things like that. But that's why it's important to maintain, keep it well balanced, not just drink and not just be all like, as much as I love Goggins, but you can't just be all hardcore all the time. At
You
least not for
can't.
the
You
average
can't.
American. Yeah,
He's not. You can't.
it's a
I
balance.
agree with you.
It's a balance. Yeah,
It's a balance.
for the
It's a balance.
for the average person. He's not the average person, and he
No, he's
doesn't want to
not.
be.
But I can take from him what I want to take from him, but understand
Yes,
that I'm not. I can't do that because I don't have 2 hours to stretch or 8 hours. He stretches like for like longer than I can work out. You know what I mean? He's not average because he makes his money off of just talking and working out. So the average person can't do that. We're talking today before the hike when you again, Coach Ray, you gave me some great stretch techniques, and I have no pain, zero pain today. Right now, zero pain.
that's great.
Decent
That's
workout,
good to hear.
zero pain, zero, zero pain. Like I can do it again right now. Like I told you, like I can do this all day if I'm good, if my knees are good, if my joints are good. It's all about stretching. So like people need to listen to people. Like there's no judge, no. We were talking about something like as serious something as the virus was going on, the pandemic. Like people need to hear conversations from other people. You and I are talking. We know each other. It's cool, but we're actually vibing off each other. We're bouncing ideas off each other. People need that. Like, okay, yeah, I drink beer. Yeah, I eat steak. Yeah, I work out all the time. No, I haven't been sick. I don't remember the last time I was sick. And you were saying that you haven't been sick since what? 2020?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been blessed
Yeah.
not to be sick
I've
since
been blessed.
2020.
Is it
Yeah,
blessed or have we been doing our thing? Like, have we been
it,
doing our thing?
it's a combination of both. I can't really say, oh, just because I work out so much, I have a kick-ass immune system or
No.
anything.
It has to
It's
be.
no. It's also like because I know like Diego the Nightmare Sanchez, UFC former UFC fighter, one of the fucking he was known as a cardio machine, just the beast.
Okay.
COVID hit him hard, you know, and he it like if he's a cardio machine and it could hit him, I know an ultra runner that it hit them hard too. So I'm like, it's not just about being in shape. It's also like random luck, like blessings, genetics. So
For sure.
yes, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, it's definitely not contributing, but it's not the only factor. It's just, and I've been taking the precautions. Like uh, wearing the mask as much as it's annoying to me. You know, so yeah, just doing what I have to do and trying to keep my family safe as well. So I actually really liked the beers we selected today. I think it was
Me
a good
too.
choice.
I'm
Yeah.
very happy with both of them. I
So
think they're exceptional beers. Carl Strauss is a very strong brewery, and they need more credit. All California. I love repping our California breweries, and yeah, I'm not sure which one's better, to be honest. You?
oh
I think they're both superior.
yeah, I still have another one of this, so I'm going to try it. But yeah, we should reach out to them. We definitely got to reach out to them. So
We should. They
uh,
do a great job.
so let me take a look at the calendar real quick here, so we can tell everybody the next show will be January 24th,
Okay,
and
J24.
the 24th, and stay tuned to what beer we will be reviewing. We are currently working on a lot of things, so be on the lookout
Yes, we
for a
are.
future website, Instagrams, Facebook, where you can actually check out the beers we're going to be reviewing. So if it's available in your state or what part of the world you're in, then you can come up here, tell us about your workout and the beer you drank. And then let's see here. Hopefully, I think we should be having also some other people joining us and drinking beers with us on the next episode.
Yeah, yeah, we
Uh,
should do that. At the same time, we're gonna do Instagrams. We're gonna give you that link on the bottom of our little spoiler alert when it comes to the show, and you click on the bottom, click to the link, and get there. If you're not signed up for Fireside, sign up. And
and I think we should close out with a little bit of football. So it was an awesome weekend of NFL football. A lot of good games. Ty is a Raider fan, and I am a Niners fan.
Raiders.
And both our teams advanced, at least for another
Yeah,
week.
yes.
And
Both our
so,
teams are in jeopardy of not advancing, and both teams handled it. Actually, all my people's teams has handled it. I've always been being from California, we don't have like we're not like from like these like off like Oregon where it's just Oregon. You have no team. So it's always been Niners, Raiders. For some reason,
Rams.
Cowboys
You guys say
in
Rams.
California. Rams
Yeah.
have been prominent, and now they're even more. Now all of a sudden, all these Rams come out the woodworks, right? But back in my day, back in like the '90s, it was just Raiders and Niners because we grew up in the great Niner, Joe Montana, Roger Craig, Jerry Rice. You know what I mean? Like that era where it was dope. Is Niners were dope at that time, and so I just like the Chicago Bulls was Jordan. Like you weren't even necessarily a Laker fan in LA because Jordan was so dominant.
Yeah.
So I was right, right. It was weird like that. You were a Oakland A's fan, not a Dodger fan, because of Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire. What's that dude? What's the brother's name?
Well, Mark McGuire was from San Dimas, and then he
Yeah,
went to
he went
you,
to
and then
Damien.
he went to Damien, and then I
Huh?
think he went to US. He went to a local college out here.
I don't think it was US. I don't think it was UCLA. I think
I
it
can't
was
remember which one,
yeah.
but the Niners are playing the Cowboys next week. That's going to
That's
be a
weird.
classic
That's the wild
rival
card.
matchup.
That's the
Yep,
wild
and
card.
I'm taking the Niners, and the Raiders
Wait a
are
minute. That's
playing.
the wild card.
Yeah, everybody's a wild card next week.
Jesus, Cowboys. They actually won the last like 6 games. I didn't know
Yeah,
they
but
were the wild card.
they got the third seed. and the Niners
Wow.
are the best team in the second half of the year. They're 8-3, but the Raiders are playing the Bengals, so
Yeah,
which are the
it's
number
winnable. It's
three
winnable.
team, I think. In the
Better
so who you
than
got on that
playing
one?
KC. Huh?
Who do you got on that game?
What game?
Bengals Raiders.
Yeah, you know who I got.
I'm just checking.
Raiders, Raiders,
Okay,
Raiders. It's
is
a
that your
very
heart
winnable game because
or
it could have been Raiders had a choice. Raiders play KC or Raiders play the Bengals. And they
okay?
chose to win the game.
I just gotta say the Bengals are being slept on right now because
No,
they
no.
don't get
Bengals are
national
a good
coverage.
team.
They're a
Yeah.
real good team right now. Yeah, they're
They're a really good team.
dangerous. They're dangerous.
They're sleeping giants. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Now,
climax. But KC is a bigger beast. So I'd rather play the Bengals than KC. So I'm happy we're playing them. Yeah. What about the Niners? You think it's an easy task or what?
I've been. It's not easy. Dallas is a really good team.
Dallas has
Where
been
they
very good.
where they fail is in the stopping the run. Niners are good on the run. Um, I think there's only three teams that are in the top 10, both on offense and defense. It's the Niners, Green Bay, and the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, really? Buffalo Bills are a
And then
weird team. Who
yeah,
they
and the
play
Niners
first? Who's the first? Who are they playing first?
they're nasty. Uh, the Patriots.
Oh shit, that's easy. They'll get past it. Who the Bucks playing then?
So actually, it's an interesting because this is the first year the NFL is doing Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. So might as well just recap everything. So on Saturday, it'll be the Raiders versus the Bengals, and that is
Mm-hmm.
at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time
Yeah.
zone.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Then you got the Patriots versus the Bills. Oh, let me mention the Bengals are going to be at home. The Bills will be at home and versus the Patriots, and that's on Saturday at 5:15 Pacific time zone. Then you got the NFL wild card round, which will be the Eagles versus the Buccaneers, and that'll be at 10 a.m. Pacific time zone on Sunday.
Fuck. Okay, what does that mean? If the Bucks lose, they're done.
Everybody, if they lose, they're
That's
done.
funny. Wait,
Everybody.
that's funny.
That's
Okay,
how
so
that's how the playoffs go. Then you got the
no, I
Niners
understand
versus the
that. I think that's
Cowboys
how
at
football goes. But
1:30.
isn't that weird that the Buccaneers have to play the Eagles, and if they lose, it's just
They
over?
got a lot of hurt
That would be
players.
dope. That would be dope. That would be dope if that happens.
Then you got
Like fuck,
the
I'm not a Tom Brady hater, but like let's alleviate some competition. You know what I mean? Like let's alleviate some competition.
I don't
Like
think
on
the
the
Eagles
front.
have it enough to beat them, but I don't know.
I think so
Buccaneers have a
too.
lot of players lost. Then you have Steelers versus Kansas City, and that's on Sunday. That's
Well,
at
that's going to be
5:15.
that Steelers. I'm glad they got one more chance to shine, but there's
Big
no way they're
Ben,
going to beat
Big
Mahomes right
Ben's
now.
final hurrah, and
Yeah.
then on Monday the
Hey,
Cardinals
let me ask you a
versus the
question.
Rams.
Do you think Ben could potentially beat Mahomes
No,
in a
Be-
quarterback matchup?
only because he can't throw the deep ball anymore. He can't really throw it past like 10 yards. You know, he doesn't have that ability. This is the last year he said it. So if he had that ability,
There's no way
then I would
KC would
say,
let that happen, right?
I mean,
Any given
I
Sunday.
I say that's more of a lock than some of the other games. I think the Niners have a chance. I think the Buccaneers are going to win.
I
I
think the Niners have a
I
chance
think
as well.
after the way the Bills Patriots played last game, they looked exposed. The Bills look strong on this one, and between the Raiders and the Bengals,
It's
like I said,
very 50-50. Even killed,
the
right?
the Bengals have been slept on
They're
just
badass. They're
just because
badass.
they're the Bengals.
They're the
I've
Bengals.
seen a few Raider games, so it's kind of tough. I don't know on that one.
It's very even killed. It's 50-50. Um,
If it goes to overtime, I like the Raiders because I think they're
oh
4-0
yeah,
in
yeah.
overtime. And then
Derek
Monday
Carr for
night
some reason is overtime killer.
is Cardinals and the Rams.
What do you mean?
That's Monday. That's the first Monday night wild card round ever.
Wow.
And I'll give it to the Rams. Actually, the Rams fell apart, blew up.
Well, they died yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. They gave
Yeah.
up a 17-point lead to a guy with a
Yeah.
fucked up thumb
Yeah.
in their home
Yeah.
court, and that's kind of tough. That's kind of tough.
It is.
I
It
don't
is.
I don't know if they're gonna recover from that. So
I think they can because they are a strong team.
I don't know if I believe in Matt Stafford.
No. Um.
He's not the guy to take you to Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Really. Actually, I
He,
think he is. I think he has enough confidence. That's fucking
be-
that's Kershaw's best friend. You know that, right?
so some people like kind of blamed it on
You know that,
him, but
right? He's Kershaw's best
I
friend.
didn't know that,
Texas.
but some people blamed it on him, and I'm like, well, what about the defense giving up 17 points?
Stafford's talented, bro.
No,
He
but the
can do
defense
it.
too. When you have Von Miller, you have
Mm,
fucking what's his name, Donald. You have
mm.
fucking that guy who did that cool ass fucking tip play for the interception, who they
Yeah,
got
you
from
told me about it
Jacksonville.
today. Yeah, I don't watch it.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, you got all these top players that you basically fran like sold all your future you franchised all your future picks to win now. So if you don't win now, you're fucked because you don't have any more number one picks. And you did so even if Matt Stafford messed up, where was
Mm,
your kick ass defense? You
mm.
like gave up all your draft picks. So I think they have bigger issues than just Matt Stafford.
For sure, they do.
Yeah.
But
So
they're
Arizona, it's been
contention.
inconsistent too though. So I don't know. That's kind of a tough one. I hope they lose though. I hate the Rams. Even
Fuck
though I'm
the
from LA.
fuck everybody but the Raiders. No, I'm
Whoa,
telling you.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
What, homie? You heard the
Oh,
you heard what I said, right?
we're only going to meet in the Super Bowl, and you're not even going to make it there, so it's okay.
Yeah. But let me ask you a question though. Do you think we can get past the Bengals? They're
I don't
not
know.
that great. We're not that great.
So,
Do you think
auto-
we can make it past the Bengals?
automatically, all home teams typically are favored by Las Vegas by 3 points. Typically. So let's see if I could look up really quick, and then we'll close up the show. The
All right,
odds.
go do that. Are we still alive?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see here.
Nice.
Vegas odds. Vegas odds on NFL. But yeah, typically the home team is favored by 3 to win.
Okay. And we're going to Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
By three.
So I think they gave the Niners and Cowboys a pick 'em, which basically means they don't know who's gonna win.
Niners Cowboys on Saturday. Hey, that's
Or
some good football.
oh yeah, there's gonna be some good games. Let's see, NFL,
Good fucking
the
football.
Vegas Inside. So I'm going to NFLVegasInsider.com, and it has Cincinnati by 6.5. So they're almost favored by a touchdown.
The Cowboys on your game?
Cincinnati, no, Cincinnati,
Oh, Cincinnati's favored by a touchdown? Huh.
almost 6.5.
Six and a
Six and
half.
a
Okay,
half.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, okay.
Buffalo's favored by 4.5. Tampa Bay's favored by 8.5.
Crazy.
What? San Francisco? Yeah, that's a pick 'em. They're giving them a pick 'em. Kansas City's favored by 11.5, and the Rams are favored by 5.
Crazy.
Hmm, that is interesting.
God is interesting. Yeah. You know what? Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining
Do we
another
did
episode of
we
Drunks.
determine the next beers for next week, or we can do that via Instagram? If you guys like the show, check for us. We'll do our next beers. We will promote it via Instagram or Facebook
Yeah,
or
it's all
Fireside
coming soon
or
for
Clubhouse. Right,
2022.
like post all your links and shit. Like you can catch my boy on he has 8,000 links right now. Like you can fucking talk to him live. You can do your thing. Like Coach Ray Z is the truth. Ray, do you mind talking about all your little outlets?
Yeah, so before we close it out, if you want to catch me again, you enjoying this content, please you can follow me and Ty and share this. Apply to be on Get Access to Fireside. I will be here this Thursday at 6 p.m. Athletic Definition and Friday. This Thursday I will be having a doctor, and we were going to be talking about fitness myths. And then on Friday, I will have same time, 6 p.m. I'll have Carlos. He is an ultra runner coming fresh off it's called the Avalon 50, which is a 50-mile ultra run around Catalina Island. He's also done a 100-miler. And this is what I want to touch on. I think after his 100-miler, he kind of took some time off and he got into salsa dancing. And I mean, there's salsa dancing is pretty cool in my opinion. A lot of hot chicks as well, and we could talk to more about that. So be sure to tune in this Thursday and Friday.
Wait, that sounds
And
super cool. Who's this Carlos
yeah,
guy? So
Cart
that sounds cool.
Cart.
That sounds
Not only
super
that,
cool.
but so he runs LA Marathon pretty much
Uh
almost
huh.
every year. And one year we're running it, and he always runs in the tutu. And
A tutu.
yeah, he's not gay,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong if you're gay. But
Yeah. There's
every
nothing wrong with
every
that.
when
I would say
no,
that.
but when I ran next to him, you always hear
Uh,
those fucking derogatory comments, like,
yeah.
and then like, oh, you're gonna get a guy with a tutu beat you? You're gonna
Okay,
let this?
so why,
But
why did you run a tutu? That was his thing, or what?
I'm
Like,
I'm gonna ask him that. I'm gonna ask
uh,
him that. Yeah, but even when I took pictures with him and stuff, people are like, just talking. It's almost like being a 49er fan. I'm used to just people saying derogatory shit. Like, oh,
I'm a
San
Raider.
Francisco.
Trust me, I
You know what
know.
I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So people will just
Raider,
like
Raider, being a Raider fan is synonymous with like a fucking
having a felony.
gay, like jail
Yeah, yeah,
jumper.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah.
What do you mean?
People just
It's like
talk
the
shit.
Raiders.
Yeah, all the time. Like at the bar, like maybe a year ago, someone just started talking smack about the 49ers. Because our friend Jay Demon, he has a Niner tattoo.
Yeah,
These guys were
my
drunk.
dude.
Uh,
Shout out
you
to
know,
Demon. Hey, he went to the Niner
yeah,
game. He went to the LA Rams
yeah,
Niner game.
yep.
Represented.
So like people are talking smack right away because we're Niner fans, and they start saying derogatory things towards us, and everyone's drinking, and you're like trying to diffuse the situation.
Mm.
But it's like you can't help it. People are just gonna talk shit, so you have to learn how to ignore that. Because
For
what are you gonna
sure.
do? Fight everybody because they fucking talk shit?
Or yeah, or die because you're just talking shit because of an idiot. Because you don't want to have it. The coolest thing you can do as a human being when you grow as a man, in my opinion, and I'm seeing that every day, is like, okay, if something is like off and someone says some shit, then you just like being quiet is the best weapon you have
I felt
because
something was off with these
yeah,
guys, and then I learned that they were former military. And even though what they said was wrong, I'm like, they probably got some sort of CTE going on.
yeah,
And I'm like, I don't want to fight former veterans over a stupid football team. So I kept my
yeah.
mouth shut, and I'm like, hey, my bad. Just trying to be peaceful. But even at the same time, it's like, man, come on, guys, like grow up. Like, what are you gonna do? Go around talking shit to people like that? That's not right either. So it
Especially
got a
if you're
little
like
tense. We were
yeah,
about to get down, and then luckily someone broke it up, so it didn't happen. But yeah, I mean that's the type of stuff you got to deal with.
you do. I
People
think you have to be
people will
adult
always
about
be
it.
ignorant. Yeah,
You can't serve ignorance with ignorance. Like you can't. You have to be able to understand that. And that's a great example, Ray. It really is because my wife tells me all the time. Like the other day, she's like, "Oh, this guy was. Why'd you stare at him so long?" I was like, "I didn't stare at him. I just saw he was staring at me." And she was like, "No, that could lead to something really bad." I go, "I wasn't mad dogging him, but I did notice he was looking at me, like weird. You know what I mean? Like on some like on some mad dog shit. I wasn't instigating. At the same time, you never know what's going on in someone's mind. So like if that so if someone's staring at me for like 2 minutes, and then I stared at them for 10 seconds, and they saw the 10 seconds as disrespect, that person that that's not really, how do you say that, like, politely, that's not there, that's not there, that he would react in
100%.
like,
Hmm.
yeah, he would react in a bad way. And so I understood what my wife was saying, but at the same time I was like, babe, I wasn't looking at him like that. Like, the only reason why I looked at him was because he looked at me weird, as in,
Well,
like, who the
I
hell is
I
this
do
guy looking at me, as in.
I I agree with you, but I also believe in being able to just be ready to diffuse any situation. So
Well, that's where
if
I'm at.
if that guy were to be like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" The
I'd be like,
in
no,
my
I
opinion,
thought you were looking at me.
the best response would be, "Oh, I really like your shirt. Where'd you get that shirt?"
Oh, complete diffuse, huh?
Because it's really hard for someone to be like getting crazy with you when you just complimented their shirt. You know,
Yeah, they
there's
can,
this
because especially because they wore it, and so
there's this book
obviously
called
they wore it for a reason. That's
verbal
interesting.
verbal judo. You know, and when I went to high school, some kid got killed because of he was being bullied. He stood up for himself and he got
In the
slammed.
Souza?
Yeah, and this is a high school. He got slammed, and so I saw this video of a martial artist, and he was talking about some martial artist who defended himself against some guy talking shit, and then he ended up killing him. He went to jail. So I was like, is it really worth it? So then he talked about diffusing situations a lot. And to me, having kids, having nephews, I try and instill these things into them, like diffuse the situation as much as possible. So someone comes up to you and says, "What the fuck are you looking at?" "Oh, that's a fucking nice shirt. Where'd you get that shirt?"
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that is like a
Oh
great
shit. Oh yeah, this
diffuser.
shirt, right?
Yeah, it's like
That makes
instead of like,
sense.
"Well, I thought you were looking at me," and then all of a sudden, you know what's gonna go down. You know what's gonna happen. It's like if you're both hood, you're gonna fucking handle it fucking gangster style, you know? So
Sure.
there's different ways to diffuse situations where you don't have to like feel like a punk, but at the same time that person is drunk and
Yeah.
like
Doesn't mean it. No.
yeah,
Yeah.
like if I fuck up someone that I know I could fuck up, what am I supposed to feel macho? No.
No.
Like if I want to feel macho, I'm gonna go pick some guy that I think I can't fuck up. That's a real
Yeah.
badass. And
I
now motherfucker,
actually.
what's up? You know?
Yeah, yeah. I actually never, like, I never thinking about fucking up anybody as a come up. You know what I mean? I don't want to hurt my fellow human beings. I'd rather
Right.
them grow. Yeah, I'd never think, oh yeah, dude, if I fuck this dude up, there's not one person that deserves that much attention from me where I need to fuck them up. That's where I'm at, and that's real. It's 100% honest. Hell no, I don't
And
want to
I agree with
beat
you,
a man
but other
up.
people aren't
But
like that. So you got to be able to diffuse their mentality
mm,
because that, like how you said, that person who's not all there, it does want to fuck you up for some reason.
he does.
You
He
didn't
doesn't
do
like me.
anything to instigate it. You just need to be able to diffuse it. So having verbal, like, diffuse situations. If you're watching this live, I learned this from Sensei Chico Villatoro, Bushido.
Ah, the man
Uh, one
Chico, big
one of the
ups.
things is like, especially for kids, it's like, hey, stop, back away. I'm being serious. Really, right here, I already have my hands up to defend myself. I'm getting, but really, it's like, hey, I'm diffusing the situation. Stop.
Yeah,
I'm warning you. Don't get any
yeah,
closer. But
yeah,
really, I'm just preparing to punch him. But it looks like
yeah.
I'm being like non-combatant. I'm trying to diffuse the situation. And really, that's what you should do because you don't know if they have a gun, you don't know if they have a knife,
You don't,
and
you don't.
that is fucking
And they,
dangerous.
you don't know what level they are, or how depressed they are, or whatever it is, and that's scary. So that is the best um, defense or offense is defense. Yeah, it really
Yeah,
is, especially for a strong man. And I always try to illustrate this fact about being a Jedi. Like, if you're a Jedi, it makes more sense. Star Wars metaphors are easier. It's 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 transcendent. It's crossed different generations. To be a Jedi is dope. If you're a Jedi, you understand what peace is. You understand that, like, hey, okay, bro, I'm a Jedi. Okay, I'm not gonna do that to you. I don't have to fucking kill you. I don't have to fuck you up. Excuse my French. Again, I understand that you're in a bad place. I'm a Jedi. Let me help you. Open the door. Jedi mind tricks. You know what I mean? It's such an ill philosophy that I think George Lucas instilled in us. And I think it's a very strong martial arts practice as well. Being a Jedi. Just it's easy. Watch the movies, be a Jedi. Something like that. I think it's very
So
godly. That makes any sense.
no, it does, and we'll touch on that in the next show. So be sure to tune in to the next Drunks episode on January 24th, and we're gonna get into more George Lucas because George Lucas got a lot of his inspiration from the samurai,
He
old-fashioned
did.
Japanese movies. In
Very
fact,
true.
Darth Vader is a character from an old samurai movie, so we could definitely talk about that. And be sure to follow us for the beer that we'll be drinking, and you can join us. Any closing words, Ty, before we close out the show?
No. 2022, guys. 2022. It's going to be a better year for all of us. We need to come together and have a conversation, work out, understand that you need to work out. You need to drink a couple beers too, just to balance out your mindset. And hey, just kick it with Ray and I. You guys will be better people. Straight up. Love you guys.
Thank you for
That's it.
everybody joining another episode of Drunks. Episode, I don't know. I think this might be episode 12 or something. But thank
Yeah,
you everybody for
something like
joining
that. I don't know.
to bigger and better things in 2022. We have a lot of things coming up, so be sure to stay
We
tuned.
do.
Thank you everybody for joining.